back to dennypark English Reading Show. I'm going to introduce you to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, A Getaway by Chef Kenny. Did you remember we read together when Wimpy Kid gets on the plane and go to the vacation site? Yeah, and now we're going to read Wimpy Kid get on the vacation set and explore this place. Are you ready? Yeah, let's read this book together. Tuesday. I was so worried about getting through the flight that I never thought about where we were actually going. But when I stepped off the plane, it was like walking into a whole new world. I've got to admit, as soon as I felt that tropical air hit my skin, I could understand why Dad was so eager to escape the cold back home. We got our luggage off the conveyor belt in the baggage reclam and followed the signs to where a big shuttle bus was waiting. Even though the air inside felt great, the air conditioning on the bus was even better. And the seats in this thing were nicer than the ones in the first class. Once all passengers boarded the bus, we headed to the resort. A video played on the overhead monitors, and it was about 1,000,000 times more fun than one on the plane. The video showed all the cool activities at the resort, and I wanted to do them all. One of the activities was swimming with dolphins, and that morning I always wanted to do. But where was a bunch of other stuff that looked cool too? I was hoping that might let us combine activities so I could do everything before we had to go back home. I felt kind of bad for being so negative about this trip until then, and I turned around to tell Mom and Dad I was sorry, but I wish I had just kept watching the video instead. When we stepped off the bus at the resort, the staff greeted us and handed Mom and Dad some frozen drinks. Welcome to paradise! We gave our bags to these guys, white gloves, and they said they take them directly to our room, and I gonna say I was impressed. We went to the front desk, and the lady will explain how everything worked. She said the resort all inclusive, so we didn't have to use cash or credit cards. The way we paid for stuff was with these plastic cards and doubled as our room keys. Mom and Dad told respect us they wanted to stay in the same building they stayed in for their honeymoon. But the ladies at the resort had changed since then. She said that now the resort was split into two halves, the wild side and the mild side. The place Mom and Dad stayed was on the wild side. The kids aren't allowed over there. So she showed us where our building was on the map. I could tell Dad was disappointed by the changes, but Mom said it was better this way. She said this was a family trip, and we didn't need to be around a bunch of young couples partying anyway. I didn't care which side of the resort we were on, because it looked to me like both sides had the same basic stuff. What I really cared about was the room. Usually, when my family stays at the hotel, we all share a room, and I had to sleep on the camp bed or a sofa bed. So I was pretty shocked to find out we were in a suite with plenty of space. There was 2 rooms in the suite. We all had to share the bedroom, but me and Roderick each had their own bed, which was the main thing. And I can say his Mom and Dad must have spent a lot of money on this trip. Where was a TV in the room I was sharing with Roderick, but even better than that, there was a bathroom. I called the bathroom right away, but Roderick didn't even fight me for it. Roderick always made fun fun of me when I wear mom's bathrobe back at home. But I think bathrobes are cool, and there are a lot of guys out there who would agree with me on that. The shower in the bathroom was huge, and all the floors and sinks were everything were made of marble. There was a TV above the bath, and there was even a phone next to the toilet. I figured if could get room service delivered to the bathroom, I have everything I needed in one place. For the balcony in mom and dad's room, I could see the pool over the wild sign on the resort, and it was really big. It wasn't just some regular pool either. It looked kind of like a river and all these islands in the middle of it. Mom said it was one of the biggest freedom pools in the world. I was pretty excited about that because I knew we had the same thing on our side of the resort. I wanted to go check it out, but first I needed to change my clothes. I went to the open the big suitcase, but it was locked. I asked Dad for the key, but he said our suitcase didn't have a lock. Dad looked at the tag on the suitcase, and it had someone else's name on it. It turns out we had accidentally grabbed the wrong suitcase from baggage relicom at the airport. Before it was too late, Dad called the airplane to see if they still had our suitcases. But the people at the airplane said that since no one had claimed our bag, it had been sent back to the address on the luggage tag. It hadn't a total disaster though. We moved some clothes from the big suitcase to our carry-on bags back at the airport, so we had a few things. I had my swimming trunks, but I didn't have a lot of other stuff. My flip-flops and sunglasses are in the big bag, along with a bunch of other things I had packed. Dad said they sell the stuff we were missing at the resort shop, so we went down to check it out. But something in the shop cost 5 times as much as we back home. Dad said he wasn't gonna pay those prices. Mom said we could wear the same clothes every day and wash them ourselves. So the only thing we brought in there was a bottle of sunscreen and a toy bucket and a shovel for Manny to use at the beach. Mom said it's really important to wear sunscreen at a place like this because it's so close to the equator. But she didn't have to convince me. I've seen what the sun can do to your skin, and I don't want to look at the reason when I'm older. That's the reason why I spend as much as time indoors I can. And later on in life, all their friends are gonna wish they had too. I thought the fact that we came during the Christmas break meant we have the place to ourselves. But I guess a lot of people had the exact same idea. It wasn't just a pool that was crowded though. There was people everywhere. I was really looking forward to relaxing in the hot tub until I saw it. I found the long chairs in the shade and put our stuff down. You could tell I was in the middle of the winter because just about everyone looked out of shape, just like me. Every once in a while, I think about exercising and getting really buff. But the future, I bet everyone will just to be able to like appeal and get fit without having to exercise anyway. Being in great shape to be normal. And all the people who aren't fit will be the ones everyone's attached to. So if I just stick with my career exercise plan, I'll be all set. The pool was so crowded to go swimming, so I decided to just put a towel over my head and catch up on some sleep. Even though it was hot out, there was a nice breeze and I started to drift off, but right in the middle of the nap, some guy showed up and ruined the whole vibe. Who's ready to party? This guy called himself Director of Fun, and especially his job was to get everybody moving. Unfortunately, the guy looked at his job and somehow he wrote me into one of the activities. But I wish he hadn't, because there was a lot more touching than I was comfortable with. Before the Koreana line ended, the director of fun said the next activity was a treasure dive, and it was just for kids. I wasn't interested in doing some stupid kiddie thing, so I sat back down, but when I heard out the giant bucket of coins that got my attention. I thought he told us kids to line up at the edge of the pool. Then he started tossing the giant handfuls of cash in the water, and it wasn't just bunch of pennies either. It was dimes and quarters, and I'm pretty sure I saw some silver dollars in there too. By the time the bucket was empty, there must have been $400 sitting at the bottom of the pool. Someone waited along the edge of the director of fun to blow his whistle. When he did, it was a total free for all. I managed to get about $2 in coins on my first dive, but I put them in the edge of the kid swooped in and cleaned me out. He wasn't the only cheat either. Some kid in the pool was actually wearing jeans, and he stuffed his pocket full of coins. That gave everyone else the same idea. I knew kids are stuffing coins wherever they could. When it was all over, I think I ended up with about $3 in change. After the kids cleaned out the pool, I figured it was a good time to get into the water and go for a relaxing swim. I found the shadiest spot of the pool and leaned against the wall. But then I heard rustling in the bushes behind me, and all of a sudden I was face to face with something that looked like it had come straight from Jurassic Park. I was out of there so fast I actually skidded across the water. I told the lifeguard there was some kind of dinosaur at the edge of the pool and he needed to clear everyone out of there before someone got hurt. But the lifeguard didn't even seem fazed. He said the giant lizard was just an iguana, and they're all over the resort. And he said that sometimes the iguanas even like to go for a dip in the pool. Well, that changed everything for me. My feeling of giant lizards is that they should be in a zoo, not mining with us human beings. I was done with the pools, so I asked Mom if we could get some lunch. She said that was a good idea, and we found a place nearby that had an outdoor patio. But the outdoor thing ended up being a problem. First of all, there weren't just iguanas at this place. There were geckos, salamanders, and who knows what else is picking out in the bushes. It wasn't just lizards either. There were slugs too, and we had to keep flicking them off the table with our utensils. The waiter poured us glasses of water from a jug, but Mom told us all not to drink it. She said the stomach aren't used to mackerels in the water down here, so we needed to get bottled water instead. But Dad said he'd fine because he traveled all over the place and stomach could handle anything. I wasn't gonna risk it though. I ordered a can of soda and poured it into a glass. I got a burger and some fries too. When our food came, a few birds landed on the trees around our table. But first, I was okay with it because when the birds flew, the lizards ran back to their bushes. Then a bird that looked like it had an injured leg or something started hopping around on the ground near our table. But it was a big trick. The second we turned our heads to look at the bird on the ground, all the other birds swooped and went after our food. We chased the bird off, but not before they got away with half our food. The only thing the birds didn't touch was our drinks. It didn't matter though, some slugs were helping themselves to my soda. But luckily, I noticed them before I took a sip. I thought this place was supposed to be paradise, but so far it was a nightmare. All I wanted to do is go back to the room and stay there. But Mom said we were just getting started exploring the resort. Then Dad said he wanted to go back to the room too. He said he wasn't feeling so hot and he could all probably use some rest after that flight. We headed back to the building, but Dad had to make a pit stop at the restroom in the lobby. Then he had to go again in the bathroom next to the gym. But I guess Mom was right about the water. Grown up. The rest of the day wasn't much fun for any of us. Then we finally made it back to the suit. Dad shut himself in the bathroom and Mom sent me down to the shop to get some medicine for his stomach. The babblers weren't in English, so I got him just something that includes Diorosa or Costed. Ay, amigos por el caso. The medicine didn't seem to work, so we had to go listen to Dad moaning and groaning all night. I put on a movie in my room and tried to drown out the sound, but my room was open to the outside, so the second I turned on the TV, a bunch of moths flew in and swarmed in front of the screen. I had to turn on the television and all the lamps in the suit so the moths could fly back outside. Me and Roderick ended up spending half the night just sitting in the dark. I was pretty tired anyway, so I figured I'd try to get to get a good night's sleep. But as soon as I got into bed, the music started on the one side of the resort, and those guys partied all night. Fiji nibble, groan, snore. The crazy thing is, until that point I had forgotten that it is actually Christmas. I didn't know where this holiday was headed, but it seems to me that there was nowhere to go but up. This is end of the part 3. If you want to read Wednesday with me, all you have to do is search like this in the YouTube, dennypark English Reading Show. And don't forget to put a good sign on my video and subscribe my channel. Thank you. See you later. Bye bye.